Welcome to Real Talk Kingdom Ministries. I am Dr. Shirley Beckwith Mangum. I am so happy to have everyone that's listening to our broadcast on today. Welcome to our broadcast. And I want to give a shout out to all of my Facebook listeners on hashtag Real Talk. God bless you, partners. I'm just so happy that those of you that's my partners, that you have been enjoying the broadcast, and that also you have been making your comments on Facebook. God bless you. And to those that's listening to us globally, God bless each and every one of you. I am just so happy to have you with us today on the Now Network. Listen, we have a special guest with us on today. She has a very impressive bio. I'm just going to just read a little to you, and she's going to be talking with us. It's just a pleasure to have Lezlie Roberts with us on today. Now, let me just give you just a little background of her bio. Um, Lezlie is an innovative entrepreneur. She's a spiritual life coach, writer, and author. She's a CEO of a nonprofit organization. Now, she's going to just talk to us a little bit about each one of those. Lezlie, God bless you. Thank you for coming and being with us on Real Talk Kingdom Ministries. Give us some background.
And thank you for having me. Okay, so I have first a daycare center in Powder Springs, Georgia. And I house 72 kids in that daycare center. That was my first business that I endeavored. I am now currently working on a nonprofit organization called Run to God Ministries and Learn to Life Live Center, where I am wanting to put community centers in all the cities around so that the families can be impacted by truth. They can come in and get the training and the learning that they need so that they can become a better, healthier family unit. So those are the endeavors that I'm working on now, and it keeps me busy.
Woman of God, you right about that. You have your hands full. Wow. Now, tell me, do you have people that's working with you or what?
So right now I do have 3 people on my board. I like to start small and get to know them. And then we're going to recruit more people to set up the committees on the board. But yes, I have some good, great, interesting women that are helping me. All women. So we doing the women thing.
Oh, now you're not prejudiced against men,
No, 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 no. They're welcome too.
I just had to throw that one in,
Right, right,
But
yes,
just in case somebody's saying that, that's listening, well,
yes,
I don't know why they're all women's.
yes, yes. So far, all women, but we welcome the men.
Okay, now you said community center. Um, Explain to me in reference to your community center.
So I think that we used to have community centers back in the days. I believe I remember even the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club, but now we don't have those centers. The economic development in the cities, they have taken away the monies that the community is needed. So I decided, with God giving me the inspiration of it, to put the community centers back in the cities so that we can get the sports going for the kids, the extracurricular things going, the after school programs, and again, the life coaching skills, and giving every part of the family the lessons and the training that they need to be reformed in whatever area that they find themselves broken.
Wow, I remember those community centers. I used to go to them myself when I was younger back in the day, and they were really instrumental
Yes.
in helping the youth. I really thank God for those community centers. So that's what you're trying to bring back is those
Exactly.
community centers, being connected in the community.
Yes.
Because you're all about community connectness.
Yes, it's
Oh
important.
wow.
It's important. We're in a season now where we're being divided on so many levels. So it's important that we have a community center that can have the word love and let love be instrumental to show that everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome.
Wow. I like that. I like that. I like that attitude. Lezlie, I like that spirit. That's a kingdom spirit.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes. Tell me about your life coaching.
Okay, I have a life coaching service called A New Perspective. And a long time ago, that's the name that came to my spirit. And it's all about giving people the opportunity to have a new perspective. Sometimes we have the same situation that may be going on, but if we don't elevate our mind and get a new perspective concerning it, we'll stay at the bottom of the situation. So, my job and my responsibility is to help clients and help my friends and my families to just elevate their mind a little bit so that they can go someplace.
Oh, okay. Now, I like the word that you use, elevating the mind. Hey, we lack a lot of that.
Yes.
Elevating the mind.
Yes. We need it.
Yes, having a new perspective because we know that so many people out there, Lezlie, is lost because they do need a mind change.
Yes.
That's a game changer. That's a game changer. I thank God for what He has planted in you about a new perspective. Because many folks do need a new perspective on who they are because they don't know who they are.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Okay, listen, I also was reading on your bio, Lezlie, that you came from a dysfunctional childhood.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
part of your journey. You
Yes.
want to you want to talk a little bit about that because, from my understanding, that you were traumatized, right?
Yes, ma'am. It started for me as a baby because I was born into a household with just my mother. My father, he was a heroin addict since I was a baby. And he died a heroin addict probably about 7 years ago. So he never visited me, he never showed up for me. So that alone made my mind go into a place of depression. It took me into a place of not feeling loved and not feeling wanted. So it took me on a spiral of events from there that I was soul searching, but in all the wrong ways, in all the wrong places,
Wow. Oh my
looking
goodness.
for that love.
Looking for the Lord in the wrong places.
Yes.
I know somebody put that a secular song out. I believe that was Whitney Houston, looking for love in all the wrong places. I think that was
Yes.
her. Now, hey, don't get me. Hey, y'all, I'm just saying. Now, I don't know if
Yes.
Whitney
I've
did
heard
that
it.
song or not, but
Yes.
I know I heard that song. Yeah,
Yes.
looking for love in all of the wrong places. And guess what, Lezlie, we still have folks. I was part of that, looking for love in all the wrong places.
Absolutely.
And as you go through life, trying this, trying that, none of that works because we find ourselves, number one, we don't have the life skills. Many of us don't have the life skills to even cope with situations when we come from a dysfunctional background.
That's right.
And I'm gathering that you also was part of that. You didn't have the tools that you needed in order to make even right decisions. Is that right?
You're correct because my mom, being the single mother, she was too busy trying to provide. So she was there, she wasn't there. When she was there, she wasn't there. So she was just trying to make ends meet. So I was not given the life skills to make the right decisions.
Wow. Oh my goodness. So you started on a broken path.
Yes.
Okay, and so that made many of your decisions that you were making wasn't sound decisions.
No.
Because listen, we can only make decisions in how we have been conditioned. Okay, and y'all look, don't get it twisted. You know, we can't help that, and I'm sure some of
Nope.
you that's listening, hey, can relate to what we're saying. When you came
Absolutely.
from a place of brokenness,
Yes.
how do you expect for that individual to make the right decision, to have a right perspective on things.
Exactly.
And many times, even when people try to give you advice, Lezlie, they come from the wrong place.
Right.
And what I mean by that, many times you're attacked. You're attacked by people.
Right.
And there's a way to talk to people.
Absolutely.
Because I found that myself when I was growing up. What they were saying was right, but it was the approach that they
Right.
used. Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Now, talk to us about you got married and you said your husband was a drug addict.
Yes. So before I got married, my teenage years were tumultuous. I connected with domestic violence in an abusive relationship. So that kind of put me in a mindset of walls. When I got married, I had all these walls up because of that abuse, and I had never been healed from it. So, yes, I got married. And when I got married, it was out of my weaknesses. It was coming from a place of my brokenness. So I wasn't aware of that, even making that decision correctly. And when I said I do, I had no idea that he was a full blown addict. I was under the assumption that he was gambling here and there, and that was something I can handle. We women think we can handle all the things that come with a man. So I'm like, I can handle that. But as soon as I said I do, the next day, I learned that he was a full addict to a drug, and that just tore me apart. But I was in it, and I tried to get out of it, but I was in it.
Okay, let me ask you this question in reference to that, because I know some people that's listening and watching this broadcast, the same thing is going through their mind. Did you recognize or could you recognize any red flags before you married him, or you didn't know what to look for?
I did not know what to look for. I recognized some red flags that later I could have said that they were red flags, but again, because I was broken, I did not know what to look for. And I was under the impression that it will all work out. I can fix it. It's going to be okay.
you know, Many of us was under that assumption. For some reason, we think we can fix people.
Yes.
We're the fixer.
Yes.
And we can't fix anybody. We can't fix ourselves.
No, ma'am.
It's going to take God and a whole lot of God to help us to fix what is broken.
That's right.
And here's the thing, Lezlie, many times we don't even understand that we all messed up. We go through life and still be in denial of who we are.
Yes.
And you talking about being married, and I just want to say this. Even at that time when you got married, how old were you at that time when you got married?
I was 23 when I got married.
You were young.
Yes.
You were a young woman.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was a lot of things you just didn't know.
No.
And thinking, seeing, sometimes we think when we get married, all of our problems will be solved.
Yes.
Not understanding that it's going to what? Accumulate.
It's going to
More
accumulate.
problems unpack. Yeah. So how was the relationship? I know that was high, low, all around the merry-go-round that
Yes.
you were. Give us some feelings about that.
It was really rough. It was days, weeks that he would not even come home because of his addiction. So I was just alone. I was married, but I was alone. And at that moment, in those moments, I had to reach out and just that's where I found God. I had to. I didn't have a choice.
Yes.
I had 2 children when I married him, and when we married, I had 5 more. So I was just having babies. I was just doing what I knew to do, and I was having babies, and I was coping with everything, I guess, with sex. But I was just doing that and producing babies and just feeling awful because I was alone. But through it all, God, He was right there with me.
Well, see, again, I want to pause right there, Lezlie. Uh, Many times we think in our mind that sex and having children is going to solve our problem, but none of that solved your problems, did it?
No,
It
at
added to
all.
the problem.
It
It added to
added
the
to it.
problem. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Because now you got children.
Yes.
You have to deal with a lot of your decisions that you make. You got to look at the children. You
That's
know
right.
how you gonna do a thing. How you
Right.
gonna do this? Whether to leave, to go, whatever. Oh my God! I
Yes.
know it was a whirlwind with you.
It was. It was. It was many of hard days, but throughout it all, I kept just praying and keeping my focus on God as much as I could. And when I would fall out of focus or out of touch with God, He would just shake me and, just remind me that He was in it with me again. So in that, I learned that He never left or forsaked me. We hear those scriptures, but I actually lived those scriptures because He never left me or forsake me. And that's what kept me through.
Well, let me ask you this: at the time, were you going to church?
I was. When I first started having kids before I had met him, I started going to church faithfully, just going, and I just wanted to hear the word of God. I just wanted to hear. And one of the things that I had asked God prior, I said, Lord, I really want to know you, but I want to know you for real. And I said that because I had seen so many people in my life go to church and do church for so long, but their life remained the same. And I just didn't want that for my life. I'm having these kids, like it can't not remain the same. So when I went to God with that heart motive, I want to know you for real. God started just showing me himself in all my struggle. He just started showing himself in all my pain, and he allowed me to get to know him for real. So, and with that, things started helping and turning around for me.
Okay, listen. Now, I want to put this out there. And I like what you said because we want to be real about this thing. Many times when we go to church, uh, we have this in our mind that this also going to bring a whole lot of changes. But how many, you got to understand, this is a personal walk. People at church go to church because they themselves need to be fixed.
Right.
There, we got many folks in the church that's dysfunctional.
Right.
Okay, they need deliverance. They can't. Some of them can't help you.
That's right.
And sometimes we connect with the wrong people at church.
That's
That's
right.
in the church. And
Yes.
and you said you made a phrase that they were what doing church, but
Yes.
but you wanted it for what for real.
Yes.
So that said something to me when you made that phrase that you could see that whatever the life that they were living, it wasn't real. Am I right
Right.
about that?
You're correct.
But you wanted to be real in your life
Yes.
because you wanted what? You wanted change.
I needed change.
Okay, let me ask you this. Did anyone in your church know you were going through? Did you share it with anyone or what?
I had a few women that knew, and I was going to small Bible classes, and they were nurturing me and they were teaching me about the gifts that were inside of me. So I had some women that were aware, and then there were some women who were not aware, and I would, I, I would get comments, because at the time having all those babies, and I would walk into a church with all those babies and no husband. Like I would get stares, I would get comments, but I would again kind of resort back to my little group and let those women let me understand that it's okay. This is what you're going to go through, but again, you'll be fine. So, yes, I was connected to some great women.
Very good, very good, very good. Because this was your walk.
Yes.
This was your journey.
Yes.
And many times, and I tell people all the time, we don't know the things that we're going to have to go through.
Yes.
Okay. And when God put people in place to help us, to help guide us, to help redirect us. Take it and be so thankful
Thankful,
that
yes.
you got somebody. I'm not saying everybody,
Right.
but there's somebody that will help you.
Yes.
Exactly, exactly. And I want to say again, so I don't want nobody calling me that I'm not against the church now. We're not
No.
talking that.
No.
You understand? But we're talking real talk here. We're
Right.
talking and saying that everybody in the church is not there for the same reasons.
Exactly.
People are at church for different reasons, and you got
Right.
to understand that the church is for the sick,
That's
and for
right.
those that need deliverance. You got to understand that.
Yes.
Okay, all right,
Yes.
and don't get offended. Okay,
Right.
it's so
Exactly.
easy to get offended.
Yes. And you'll run away and never come back, but you can't get offended. You got to keep toughing it out and sticking it out because God is there. He's there.
Right, exactly, exactly. Now, at that time, you did not know that you were going to be called into ministry in order to minister. I'm just looking at the call of God that's on your life and everything that was playing out for you. Oh
Yes.
my God, that you were going to be able to use this to help
Yes.
other people, not just women, but men's also.
Exactly.
Because we got men's also in the same position that you are in.
Right.
Okay, because there's wives out there, okay, that you know that's addicted. And we got husbands that's fighting with their wives, trying to help them to come out of the addictions that they're in. See, addiction is addiction. It don't discriminate.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Yes, yes. So there's room for all of us in ministry,
That's
whomever
right.
God sent us to do. All right. Now listen, as a wife, how did you feel as a wife?
I did not feel like a woman as a wife. I felt because I was having the kids, I felt at the time that I was just making babies. So I wasn't in touch with my womanhood at all. I was just going through the cycle of what I had to do to maintain. So yeah, that I never felt um, the womanhood.
Wow. Mm.
Yeah.
Did Okay, let me ask you this. Did you go for any counseling?
I did not at the time. I was too busy. I was too busy, but I wish I would have, but I did not. I did not.
uh, the reason I want to bring that out because in the black community and also in the black churches, in many of them. Now I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying in many of them that is something in the black in our culture that we
Yes,
just don't do.
we don't do. Yeah,
You know that
yeah,
that would be a negative. Counseling,
right.
all you need is God.
Yes,
All you need is God. But I thank God that we better understand things now.
yes,
You
because I'm
know,
in
and
counseling now. I
oh,
stay in
all
counseling. Yes,
right.
I
Oh,
stay there.
okay, okay. How are you doing in your counseling now?
I love it now. I'm learning more and more about myself. So it's eye opening and it's enlightening. And I wish I would have done it then, but it's a timing for everything. So I'm enjoying it. I have my kids in counseling. We're enjoying it.
Okay, what about your husband? Is he in
He's in
counseling also?
counseling as well. Yes,
Oh, okay. So that's a family thing.
it's a
Good.
family thing. Yes,
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, because we have to be responsible uh, for our families,
yes,
and in order for them to be well rounded and healthy. It's about being healthy.
it is.
Yeah, and so you want to cut that cycle. You want to cut
Yes,
that cycle. Yeah.
I do.
Yes. Because we know and understand the generational curses, that comes and it has to stop somewhere.
It has to. And
So
I had to learn to not be the victim. You
there you
know,
go.
yeah, I had to learn not to be the victim. So once I understood that I'm not the victim in this and that God gave me tools, and counseling is one of them. And I, it gave me hope. It gave me, it took me to another plateau, because I'm no longer the victim. I'm a victor, and it took a lot to get from being a victim, though. It was a lot of stuff in that place.
Well, Lezlie, and I tell everybody, this journey is a process.
Yes.
You're going to have your lows and your highs and all of that, but you got to stick with it. You got to do the work.
You have to.
Many folks do not want to do the work. They want a quickie. There are no quick fixes.
No.
And I tell folks there are no free lunches.
No.
We have to put the work in.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Even with the things of God,
Yes.
the things of God, you got to put the work in.
Exactly.
We have the promises of God, but you know what, Lezlie? Many of those promises are conditional.
Yes.
And many times folks skip over the condition. Okay, that little crooked word, if.
If.
And if is conditional.
Exactly.
Yes. Like I said, we love to quote those scriptures.
Yep.
But what about the if? What are you doing?
That's right. Hello, I'm Lezlie Roberts, introducing you into an experience to change your world by first changing your mind. As a survivor of depression and sadness, I have learned the importance of replacing the negative thoughts of my past, my present, and my future with truth. So, I am here to help you. I've come through so many tumultuous things. I've been in domestic violence. I've had my share of trauma. So with that being said, I introduce you into an experience on a journey. I'll journey with you as we learn together how to change your mind so that you can change your world.